Hey everybody, this is Mike with Free Roaming Hiker, and I am out in Yellowstone doing the Grebe Lake hike. This is probably a little bit over 3 miles. Goes out to one of the pretty lakes that are along the Solitude Plateau. There is Cascade Lake all the way on the east. There's Grebe Lake next. Heading farther west, there's Wolf Lake and then Ice Lake. And Grebe Lake is the last one that I have not done. So this one's new to me and looking forward to checking it out, and we will go see what we find. And thus far the trail has started kind of wide. If you could tell from that shot, there is a peak in the distance, and that is Mount Washburn. I can see the observation tower on top. Also a really pretty hike, and definitely one worth checking out. And not much going on right now except forest, which is also pretty. Obviously some snow on the ground, as you saw. I am hiking this right now in mid-October, early in the morning, still a little bit below freezing, so probably should have brought some gloves, but oh well. Also, because of that, I am hoping there is not any fording that needs to happen, because I don't really want to get my feet or my legs wet. I did not come prepared with a towel, and really it's just uncomfortably cold to be fording anything, so hopefully I can dodge that. At least it is October, so water will be low if there is any, and yeah, we'll see. And by the way, if you're not familiar with what a grebe is a type of waterfowl. So similar to a duck, but much more efficient diver, and really pretty actually. If you ever get a chance to see some grebes, go check them out, because they are really neat little waterfowl. Also, if you are liking this video so far, please be sure to like and subscribe. It does a world of difference for me, and I appreciate it very much. And yeah, any questions or comments as they come up, leave them down below, and I will always answer, usually within 24 hours. But for now, onward. So right now what you're seeing are a lot of smaller lodgepole pine trees and a lot of debris on the ground, a lot of logs from trees that have fallen. This is all still from the '88 fires back in 1988, where over a third of the park was burned. In total, including areas outside of the park, there was 1.3 million acres burned. Within the park, it was closer to 700,000 or 750,000, somewhere in between there. So massive chunk of the park was burned, and I explained this in another video, but in case you haven't watched that video, the reason being is because prior to that, the policy was to put out every forest fire, and by doing so, there was essentially a lot of fuel being built up over the decades. And when they finally lifted that policy, because out here forest fires are actually good for the ecosystem as long as they don't get out of hand or there's not too many, as soon as they lifted that policy, that's when all that fuel eventually burned. All it took was a weaker winter and a hot and dry summer, and the whole place was just like ready to burn. So the '88 fires were incredibly destructive because of all that fuel that had been built up. But the park did reseed itself. All these lodgepole pines, when they go through a forest fire, they release up to 1 million seeds per acre. And their cones are serotinous, which essentially means the sap is incredibly thick and won't melt until the heat from a fire melts it. So these lodgepole pines are kind of designed for fire. They need fire to reproduce and reseed and refresh the vegetation, and that's what happened on a massive scale in 1988. And so it is not uncommon to have fires here throughout the summer. Each summer there are always going to be fires. Just hopefully with climate change and things like that, it doesn't get too out of hand. Little fun fact, you can see those black boulders, dark gray. You can see those right behind me. Those are essentially lava. Obviously, Yellowstone was a super volcano. It erupted last about 640,000 years ago, as the last major large eruption, and as a result, there's still a lot of lava that is here. And really, that's why you only see a lot of lodgepole pines growing in much of Yellowstone, is because the soil, geologically speaking, is still very young. There's not a lot of deciduous trees. There's not a lot of other vegetation that can take hold yet. So you also don't really see a whole lot of bird life as you're going through the forests of Yellowstone. Obviously, great places for birds like Hayden Valley, things like that, Yellowstone Lake, but that's beside the point. But as you're hiking through here, there's not a lot of diversity in the flora. So that's just because all the soil's still young. So, I mean, you look at the trail, and even that is part of this lava. This is all basically lava on the ground that has slowly turned into a very young soil. And so you get some grasses, some smaller wildflowers, vegetations, things like that, and the lodgepole pines, and that's a lot of the vegetation you see as you're doing hiking out here. And that's why, because this is still technically a supervolcano. And if you're worried about the next eruption, you don't need to. All the best scientists say it is not likely to erupt for another 10,000 years or so. I'm willing to trust that. This place is too remarkable to avoid if you're worried about it. So definitely something to check out and enjoy while you're out in Yellowstone's backcountry. Also, just like everywhere in Yellowstone, this is grizzly bear habitat and black bear. So always carry bear spray, know how to use it. Odds are you're not going to have any trouble from a bear if you consider all the millions of people that come to Grand Teton, Yellowstone, even Glacier, and everywhere in between, and how many bear attacks you hear about. There's not a lot. Your odds are not good. And really, a lot of bears are going to avoid you, so you kind of have to go out of your way to get attacked by them, but there is still that chance of something being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So you always want to have bear spray on you, and if you do buy it, make sure you know how to use it as well. That is the subject of another video, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, always be prepared. You are not at the top of the food chain in Yellowstone, and it's important to respect the wildlife and act as such. Well, so far this hike is beautiful, but it is a little monotonous. For some people that is a very welcome thing. For other people that might dissuade them from doing this hike. There is a lot of forest walking. I've probably gone, I'd say I'm close to about 2 miles now, still going through the forest. And on one hand, it is beautifully quiet. It is peaceful, it is tranquil. It is probably what you think of when you hear the term the Asian term forest bathing. So this is quite scenic, but if you're the type of person that needs a lot of changes in the trail, a lot of scenery, you might get a little bored with this one. Wolf Lake is longer, but it had a few more things going on. Cascade Lake, same thing. Ice Lake is so short, you hardly feel like you even did a hike. But either way, this is very scenic and very beautiful, very quiet, which I like. But it is also a lot of just walking through the forest with an occasional little meadow. There was a lake a little over a mile in that had already dried up for the season. I'm sure it's there earlier in the season, but there's a larger meadow, but not much else besides that. Also noticing the two pairs of footprints I was following right back there decided to turn around. So I've got this whole trail to myself, and hopefully it stays pretty visible. There's only like half an inch of snow, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I'll keep going and see what else is going on with this trail. Okay, I think I'm getting close because I am descending a little hill, and I can see the hills just on the other side of the lake right back there. So my guess is that the lake is probably not more than a quarter mile away, maybe half a mile at most. So definitely feels like I'm getting close. Been walking a while, so it'll be nice to see a little change of scenery. But yeah, sure, it's not farther now, so I'll keep going and see what is up ahead. Well, I am pushing that half mile that I just predicted back there, and still kind of just going through the woods. I do see Observation Peak right up ahead, which can be accessed from Cascade Lake. Voila! There is Grebe Lake. As I was saying, Observation Peak is an extra hike that can be accessed from Cascade Lake. Haven't done that one yet, but I do plan on doing that one at some point. Hopefully I can squeeze that in before the season ends here. But yeah, just got to Grebe Lake. Nice, beautiful, big lake. And how about I show you? Okay, obviously, beautiful lake, worth the effort, worth the forest monotony, but a really stunning lake. Right back there is Observation Peak, not to be confused with Observation Point at Old Faithful. You can maybe make out a little tower at the top of it, but yeah, stay on the lookout for in the next year or two. I'll get that hike in, if I don't get it in this season. But yeah, this is a huge lake, really pretty, and absolutely worth checking out. If you did want a shorter way to get here, it's probably a little bit shorter coming from Cascade Lake, and that would get you two of these lakes in one. As you may have seen from that sign when I came in, there is a campsite, a backcountry campsite on this side. On the other side, there's two maybe 3 backcountry campsites over there. And yeah, I'm gonna head that way. I'm gonna go to the junction, maybe check out one of those sites, and yeah, keep moving on just for a little bit more, just to see what else is on the other side. Okay, so I have found a nice little campsite to sit and watch the lake and have a snack and relax for a little bit before heading back out. But this lake was definitely worth it. It is, as you saw from the sign, about 2 miles in from Cascade Lake. So you're looking at like a little bit longer, about 3.5 miles from the Cascade Lake Trail. So this is the shorter way, but the other way gets you an extra lake. So if you want to do that, that's an option. But yeah, there is a trail that connects all of these lakes: Ice Lake, Grebe Lake, Wolf Lake, and Cascade Lake. Obviously not in that order at all. But yeah, there's a trail that goes through if you're interested in backpacking a lot of it. But yeah, great area, beautiful lake, good hike. And I'm gonna call it. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And thanks for watching. Happy trails.